no control over anything. You can't help, you can't do anything. It sucks. It's not the first time it's happened. I mean, that's what this book is about, the history of love. It's really intense, and it's about the Nazi war. And when I started reading this book, I did not imagine that we would be going into more and more wars around the world this year. It's really scary. No, I have not ever served in the military or army or anything. I got this all from my job. Somebody had donated military clothing. I found some pants that fit me perfectly for emergencies, or for if a miracle happened and my future partner wanted to go hunting. By a miracle happening, I mean me getting a future partner. That's basically a miracle for me at this point if that were to happen. But yeah, the guy that I fell in love with this year, he would go hunting with a group of friends, and so I don't know, I was thinking I could go hunting with him one day. It would be such a dream. Not for me personally. I don't like to hunt. I don't like to hurt animals or see them get hurt. But I love nature, and it would have been fun to accompany him in nature and just do my own thing while they did their own thing. I don't know. But these pants fit me so well. It's awesome. I also found another pair, but they have a name on them, and they're also a little bit longer. These ones literally fit me perfectly. Somebody was exactly my size, and that's awesome. I want a disclaimer here. I'm not making light of serving in the military or anything. I have PTSD myself, so if anything, I connect with veterans more than the average person would. Honestly, I did want to serve in the military when I was young, but I have pretty bad asthma. That's why this is raspy ASMR. I have asthma. I was born with asthma. And so, yeah, you can't serve if you have asthma. Period, point blank. But I really wanted to. And recently I was looking into it again because, I don't know, I don't have a lot of, I feel like I have more potential than I can see in myself. Honestly, I don't see a lot in myself, but I know I have it. I just need to uncrack it some more. But I don't really know what to do for a career right now. I have plans, but I can't start those plans until I become financially stable. At least that's like a blockage that is in my head. Maybe I'll figure something out. I'm not only really sad because of war. I'm really sad about. Let's get right into this, okay? Number 9, Merde. When we got home, my mother was out in the backyard. Through the window, I saw her kneeling in a pair of muddy overalls, planting flowers in what little light was left. I pushed open the screen door. The dead leaves and the weeds that had been growing for years had been torn out and cleared away, and 4 black trash bags stood by the iron garden bench that no one ever sat on. "What are you doing?" I called. "Planting mums and asters," she said. "Why?" "I was in the mood." "Why were you in the mood?" "I sent off some more chapters this afternoon, so I thought I'd do something relaxing." "What?" I said. "I sent off some more chapters to Jacob Marcus, so I thought I'd relax a bit." She repeated. "I couldn't believe it. You sent the chapters yourself, but you always give me everything to take to the post office." "Sorry, I didn't know it meant so much to you. Anyway, you were gone all day, and I wanted to get it off, so I just did it myself." "Did it yourself?" I wanted to shout. My mother, her own species, dropped a flower into a hole and started to fill it with dirt. She turned and looked at me over her shoulder. "Dad used to love to garden," she said, as if I'd never known him at all. Number 10. Memories passed down to me from my mother. Number 1. Getting up for school in the pitch dark. Number 2. Playing in the rubble of bombed-out buildings near her house in Stamford Hill. was the end of my search to find someone that would make my mother happy again. I finally understood that no matter what I did or who I found, he, none of us would ever be able to win over the memories she had of Dad. Memories that soothed her even while they made her sad, because she'd built a world out of them she knew how to survive in, even if no one else could. I couldn't sleep that night. I knew Bird was awake too, by the sound of his breathing. I wanted to ask him about the thing he was building in the vacant lot, and how he knew he was a lamed Vovnik, and to tell him I was sorry about shouting at him the time he wrote on my notebook. I wanted to say that I was scared, for him and for me, and I wanted to tell him the truth about all the lies I've been telling him all these years. I whispered his name. Yeah, he whispered back. I lay in the dark and the silence, which was nothing like the dark and the silence my father lay in as a boy, in a house on a dirt street in Tel Aviv, or the dark and the silence my mother lay in on her first night in Kibbutz Yavni, but which held those darknesses, and those silences too. I tried to think of what it was I wanted to say. I'm not awake, I finally said. Me either, said Bird. Later, after Bird finally fell asleep, I turned on my flashlight and read some more of the history of love. I thought about how, if I read it closely enough, I might find out something true about my father, and the things he would have wanted to tell me if he hadn't died. The next morning, I woke up early. I heard Bird moving around above me. When I opened my eyes, he was pushing the sheets into a ball, and the seat of his pajamas was wet. Number 13. Then it was September, and summer was over, and Misha and I were officially not speaking, and no more letters arrived from Jacob Marcus, and Uncle Julian announced that he was going back to London to try to work things out with Aunt Frances. The night before he left for the airport and I started 10th grade, he knocked on my door. That thing I said about Frances and the Rembrandt, he said when I let him in. Can we pretend I never said that? Said what? I said. He smiled, showing the gap between his front teeth that we both inherited from my grandmother. Thanks, he said. Hey, I got you something. He handed me a large envelope. What is it? Open it. Inside was a catalog for an art school in the city. I looked up at him. Go on, read it. I opened the cover and a piece of paper fluttered to the floor. Uncle Julian stooped and picked it up. Here, he said, mopping his forehead. It was a registration form. On it was my name and the name of a class called Drawing from Life. There's a card too, he said. I reached inside the envelope. It was a postcard of a Rembrandt self-portrait. On the back it said, Dear Al, Wittgenstein once wrote that when the eye sees something beautiful, the hand wants to draw it. I wish I could draw you. Happy early birthday. Love, your Uncle Julian. We're starting a new chapter now. This is called The Last Page. In the beginning it was easy. Litvinoff pretended to be just passing time, doodling in an absent-minded way while he listened to the radio, just as his students did while he lectured in class. One thing he did not do was sit down at the drafting table onto which the most important of all Jewish prayers had been carved by his landlady's son, and think to himself, I am going to plagiarize my friend who was murdered by the Nazis. Nor did he think, if she thinks I wrote this, she will love me. He simply copied the first page, which, naturally, led to copying the second. It wasn't until I got to the third page that Alma's name appeared. He paused. He had already changed to Feingold from Vilna to a de Paidma from Buenos Aires. Would it be so terrible if he switched Alma to Rosa? 3 simple letters, the final A could remain. He'd already gone so far. He brought the pen to the page. Anyway, he told himself, Rosa was the only one who'd read it. But if, when he went to write a capital R where there had been a capital A, Litvinoff's hand stalled, perhaps it was because he was the only person, aside from its true author, to have read the history of love and known the real Alma. In fact, he'd known her since they were both children, having gone up through the grades with her before he'd left to study at yeshiva. She was one of a group of girls he'd observed bloom from scraggly weeds into tropical beauties, who turned the air around them into a dense humidity. Alma left an indelible impression on his mind, as had the 6 or 7 other girls whose transformation he'd witnessed. And, in the later, sitting at his desk in Valparaiso, Litvinov could still remember the original catalog of bared thighs, inner elbows, and backs of necks that had been the inspiration for countless frenetic variations. That Alma had been taken by someone else in an on and off again sort of way didn't distract from her participation in Litvinov's reveries, which relied heavily on the technique of montage. If he ever envied her being taken, it wasn't out of any special feeling for Alma, but out of a wish to be likewise singled out and loved alone. And if, when he tried a second time to replace her name with another, for the second time his hand froze, perhaps it was because he knew that to remove her name would be like erasing all the punctuation and the vowels and every adjective and noun, because without Alma, there would have been no book. I'm having a really hard time reading this right now without wanting to cry, so I'm gonna stop there for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel. It would really help me financially if my channel is able to grow into possible monetization one day. That would be freaking amazing for me. It's my dream, honestly, my dream come true. So if you want to help my dreams come true, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell, especially if you want to know when the next part of this comes out, because the book is starting to come together, and I definitely recommend, if you're new here, at least sticking around for the end of this book, because it's amazing. Otherwise, if you're curious, I will link a playlist below of all of these videos in order, so you can read the book with me in order. I also made a really long version where I compiled 10 videos into one video, and it's 2 hours long, and I'll be coming out with more of those. So if you like long-form content, then that's there for you. Okay. Whatever you are doing, have a good day, good night, good evening. I hope you're doing well. I hope depression isn't taking you over. Know that you're good enough. Know that you aren't the only one who's really overwhelmed by life and finances right now. I'm starting to realize that kind of everyone is, and it's really, really scary. Especially being alone at this time in the world, and being a woman, and having severe complex PTSD. It's really put the nail in my coffin. I love it. But I believe I can get better. I believe I deserve better. I just need to do better for myself and have more confidence in myself. Okay. Have a good day, good night, good evening. Bye, guys.
My channel is sponsored by a website called Wildflower Sex. For the rest of this ad read, I'm going to say sax, like saxophone, instead of the word that I need to say. So let's talk more about Wildflower Sex. They are a sexual wellness
feelings for me after all we went through. I cannot accept that. I cannot accept that he's just given up on this. Like, that's so disturbing to me, to give up on somebody that you trusted. I can't do it. Like, I'm going through it right now, you guys. I'm trying so hard to be okay and to just hope that he'll come back with all of my might. Because I don't want to trust anyone else. Like, I've never been made happier by another person than when I met him. So, I quite literally cannot accept. I can't accept that it might not work. Like, I just can't accept that. Not until I know for sure. So, wish me luck. Pray for me if you're religious. I don't know, but the whole reason I started reading this book and doing this series was because of him, was for him. So, it's kind of crazy to look back at myself and see myself doing that and, like, continuing. And then now being here, like, wondering if he's just given up on me, like, very easily. Like, it doesn't seem right. It doesn't feel right. It's not right. And I've been downplaying how bad it's hurt me for almost fucking 9 months. I don't know math at this point. Time has become an illusion to me. I have lost a lot of myself through this year, and I don't want it to all be for nothing. I don't. And it's not bad that I've lost a lot of myself, because I've grown into a better version of myself. But I will never be the same. But I'm thankful to have at least known what it was like to be treated right for a little bit amount of time. That was really nice for me. At least gave me some hope that, like, maybe I'll have it in the future. But I was a little too hopeful in the beginning, just believing full on that I had it and that I had him. Because honestly, if you're watching this, like, doesn't seem like I have you at this point. Because honestly now I'm, like, not sure. Out of all people, I need reassurance the most. And he barely let me know how he feel about me. If you need advice on women, and if you know this girl loves you back that you're in love with, if you tell her how you feel about her, if you tell her and you make sure she knows that she makes you happy, you won't have any problems. But I couldn't tell. I honestly couldn't tell if I made him happy. And I started to get really scared, and then everything came back to me. Everything bad I've ever experienced in relationships, I thought I was experiencing again. And I may have ruined it, but also we both hurt each other. things, but it comes off like I need way more than that, and I really don't. I'm not a war veteran, but I grew up around domestic violence and basically war inside my own home constantly. And then I grew up and I met abusive men and I dated abusive men, and now it's like I don't even know what it is to experience anything normal or for anything to just go right for me. And it's really heartbreaking. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now. Maybe I'll put this all at the end because it's really emotional. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. By the way, look at how jacked I am from my job. Oh, okay, I guess I'm usually more jacked, but since I've lost weight, you can't really tell. Oh, whatever. Also, my job is absolutely killing me, and I hate it. No, I actually love it, but I hate that it doesn't pay me enough. And every day after work, I'm so exhausted that I can't even eat. So I'm definitely gonna have to figure something else out. Oh my gosh, I'm getting goosebumps, you guys. It's coming together.